Welcome back to another Ramble with Rob intuitive tarot reading. For today's tarot reading, instead of doing a pick a card tarot reading, we're going to do a pick a hand reading, whether that be the left hand or the right hand, and obviously whatever corresponding item is in those hands. So in just a second, I will put said hands on the screen with the objects, and you can decide which one you're most intuitively drawn towards. So whichever one you're naturally drawn to first, make sure you go ahead and pick that reading. There might be something in there for you that you need to hear that will help you with your current situation. So let's get straight into it. So the question is, are you picking the left hand or are you picking the right hand? Which hand are you picking? Let's get into it. If you picked the left hand, then you chose this clear quartz geode, and there's actually, I don't think you'll be able to pick it up on the camera, but there's a little crystal flower in here, which is the perfect addition, I think, to this little geode. But again, the camera's not great, so you can't really see it in there, but it's very nice and sparkly. It's all about clarity and ultimately, I think, with the flower, new beginnings and basically just moving forward in a really clear direction. So I'm going to shuffle some tarot cards for you now and we'll see what message you need to hear. So as expected, with you choosing the clear quartz geode, this message seems to be all about clarity, but obviously take it how it resonates to you. Don't force anything to fit. It is a collective reading. The first message is that you need to basically use an unbiased judgment when it comes to whatever it is that you're working on. So make sure that you take off your rose-tinted glasses and you acknowledge exactly what areas need to be tweaked or fine-tuned, or you ultimately identify what areas you need to actually continue to work on and develop in. There might be skills or knowledge that you want to actually undertake, or there could be things that you actually need to undertake. There's something here necessary that needs to be learned in order to start nourishing yourself effectively. Now, it's quite an emotionally charged reading, and I feel like you actually need to learn how to get your emotions in order when it comes to not only working on yourself, but working on your projects and the goals and the things that you're actually trying to create. There's something here about this collective maybe feeling defensive or maybe even resistant when it comes to taking action on their goals, and it was 0101 as I said that, but also resistant to actually ask for help. And it's important that you identify that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's not something to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. It's actually empowering because you're then choosing who helps you build your village. I've always been somebody who, listen, I've been in connections where people will do something for you and you think it's really nice and you think, oh, that person did that, like I'm really grateful, I appreciate that. And then a couple of weeks or even days later, and it's 131 as I say this, it gets thrown back in your face, and it's almost like but I did that, so you should do this. And I've almost built everything that I have right now, my whole emotional system, my whole spirituality, my home base, my material things, everything I have, I built myself. And I did that to myself. I isolated myself. I put myself out in the cold and I worked on my own pentacles, and I was defensive and reluctant to ask for help until recently, because I feel like I hit a wall. I felt like I hit a wall in my spirituality. I felt like I hit a wall in my healing journey and also my communications and my connections with people. And I felt like I've come to a point where I've been hurt so much and I've been so used to being defensive that now I don't know who I can trust, and now I don't know who I can actually genuinely ask for help without it being thrown back in my face. And that help could be something as small as, I don't know, you just want somebody to vent to about your working day. You want them to help you just offload slightly. And I've always found different mechanisms and different ways to allow me to offload and do the de-stress in my own way. I always decompress on my own. But actually recently, I've learned that it's actually empowering to ask for help and come into union with people. And for you guys, I feel like you need to manage your emotions when it comes to asking for help, or manage your emotions when it comes to seeking support from people. There's something here that you need to learn about your own emotions. So don't be afraid of doing the shadow work or going within yourself to actually have the answers. It's really easy to say, I don't know, watch a tarot reading or read your horoscope, but make sure you're delving deeper into yourself as well. And I've recently undergone a whole journey looking into different planets and how they sit in my chart and things like that. And it's crazy how much that actually influences me. And I always sit there and I read it and I think, damn, that's so me, like that makes complete and utter sense. But it's something that I've never even thought about. It's something that I've never even considered. So the more I'm learning even about like my astrological chart and the way that that implicates the way that I move forward, the connections that I have, the people I speak to, for example. It's just crazy. So make sure you're doing background research on yourself as well, and you're looking into the things that truly make you you and what's actually contributing to your energy as well. And ultimately, you need to arm yourself with the necessary skills to move forward and empower yourself enough to know that you've got whatever it takes to make your dreams come true. You just need to, again, empower yourself and acknowledge that you need to just see things clearly and take off any rose tinted glasses that you've got when it comes to your goals. Make sure that you are seeing people and places for how they truly present themselves, but ultimately you are empowering yourself and acknowledging that whatever it is that you want to grow and develop at this time, you are more than capable of doing it. There's also something here with the Ace of Pentacles. I see you getting an unexpected gift. It is something material, and ultimately it's going to be the thing that puts you in your power. And it could be that you do the emotional healing or the emotional understanding about yourself, that it puts you in your Emperor energy. But I do see the Ace of Pentacles as being a gift from the universe. So you're about to be quite strong in your position and in your power. And it's just about acknowledging that the things that we want to grow in life need to be nourished. We can't just be half in and half out. We need to be fully committed to our goals, but ultimately we need to be in our Emperor energy as well. We need to make sure that we're attracting the right things and we're not chasing the wrong things, for example. There's also something about you needing to fully embody the Five of Swords and acknowledge the Five of Swords and acknowledge that you need to walk away from things when it's not right. You need to acknowledge what deserves your reaction, what doesn't deserve your reaction, and ultimately what people and places deserve to stay in your life, what people and places deserve to have your energy, what deserves your time, what deserves your abundance. When you actually get to a point where you're able to share your energy and share your material world, who do you want to share that with? So make sure, again, you're not afraid to be ruthless, cut people off, set your own boundaries, move away from things that feel low vibrational or things that feel like they're draining your energy. It's important that you protect you and you stand strong on your own path and you're able to see a way forward. There's something here with the Ten of Wands about you potentially struggling to see a way forward, but acknowledge that you need to tune out the distractions. The way towards your happiness, and it was 555 as I said that, the way to your happiness, to your wish fulfillment, to your Ace of Cups is for you to actually tune out your distractions, whatever third-party distractions these may be, whether that's people, places, low vibrational behaviors, habits, addictions. You need to tune them out, because ultimately these things are clouding your judgment and these things are preventing you from moving forward smoothly. There's a real resistance there. So just make sure, again, you're seeing vibrations, you're seeing things as energy. Think, if I do this, is it lowering my vibration or is it heightening my vibration? And the minute you start seeing things as energy and you start actually changing your perspective on the things that you're doing every day and the things that you're creating every day, it's crazy how quickly that becomes part of your day-to-day life, and you start to actually feel things like energy. Like, I used to love drinking, for example. Every weekend, any celebration, I'd be all in. But now, even like one glass of wine, I'm like, I can feel my vibrations lowering. And that might sound crazy, but it just doesn't resonate with me in the same way that it resonates with my friends, for example. And that's completely okay. You know, everybody's got a different vice, everybody's got a different way of filling up their cup, but it's just about finding the thing that authentically aligns with us without lowering our vibration. So keep doing you, make sure you're tuning out third-party distractions, and ultimately acknowledge that you're well on your way to your wish fulfillment and happiness. And it was 717 as I said that, but you need to be in your Emperor energy, where you're attracting, you're not chasing, and you're ultimately moving with the flow of the universe to identify who deserves your time, who deserves your energy, and what areas of your life you need to just give that little fine-tuning to. Please do drop me a comment and let me know if this reading resonated. I'd also appreciate if you could give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. I'm really trying to hit 500 subscribers by July, so your help would be greatly appreciated. And I really hope this message helps. I know it can be really tough sometimes to be going through situations where you don't always feel like you've got the clarity that you need, for example. So I do genuinely hope that it helps, and I'm rooting for you. You got this. I'll see you soon. If you chose the right hand, then you chose this abalone seashell. And this to me speaks about spiritual protection, but also I use this for a lot of glamour rituals, a lot of beauty magic, and also to me it speaks about transformation as well. And I've already drew your cards. There's quite a lot of cards here, and it does heavily speak about forward movement, transformation, and effectively protecting your own light. So it does go in line with the abalone seashell, and let's get straight into it and we'll see what guidance message is here for you. So, first things first, collective, you need to start taking action. You need to start moving forward. You need to put yourself on a pedestal enough to realize your own value and then acknowledge that you're protected in whatever it is that you're moving towards. You need to understand that we need balance for that forward movement. We've got the yin and the yang here with these two, but ultimately they're also protectors as well. And for me, it's about making sure that your heart chakra is in the right space as well. I'm keep being drawn to this, and to me it's speaking about your heart chakra. So it could be that you've recently undergone some heartbreak, or you feel like there's some blockages with your heart chakra, with your emotions. So make sure you're empowering yourself enough to acknowledge your own value and also your own potential as well, and know that you're protected in whatever it is that you're moving towards. There is currently a very negative energy within this collective, and I don't know if it's to do with, you'll know exactly how it resonates, but basically there's a devil energy here, and the devil to me speaks about a couple of things really. It's an obsessive energy, it's low vibrational energy, and it could be, I'm really getting obsessed, I'm getting overthinking, can't stop thinking about. Maybe it's your attachment to the outcome that's becoming quite a devilish energy. You're overthinking this thing, you're putting too many eggs in one basket, for example, and ultimately you're keeping yourself trapped with whatever it is that you're entertaining in terms of a low vibrational energy. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're taking part in low vibrational habits and activities. It could just generally be that you're so stuck on an outcome, or you're so overthinking an outcome or a way forward, that you're actually keeping yourself trapped in that energy. But you need to acknowledge that things take patience. When we move from one reality to another, things do take patience, and ultimately it's a calm before the storm. And the reason that my parrot is now kicking off is because we're about to have a storm. I just went outside and I heard the thunder in the distance, so it could literally be an indicator for you, or confirmation if you're having a storm near you. It was 2-2 as I said that, but ultimately it's a calm before the storm. It's acknowledging that while we move from one cup into another, from one reality into another, we need to keep our emotions balanced, and ultimately we need to take every single day as it comes and acknowledge that when we're on this path to whatever it is that we want, to all this gold over here in the distance, we are going to have our hurdles, and it's acknowledging that it's never going to be a straightforward path. So while we take action, make sure that you're fully committed to this goal. Don't allow obstacles or hurdles to deter you, and ultimately don't get distracted by third-party interference, or don't overthink the goal so much, or keep yourself trapped with self-limiting beliefs or doubting yourself. It's important that you acknowledge that you've got a really strong foundation here that you may be scared to walk away from, but ultimately you're walking towards freedom, you're walking towards the mountains, and you're going to build a castle on that mountain. It's just acknowledging that there is going to be some shadow work that you need to do, and ultimately come to terms with the fact that we can't take everything forward with us into the next cycle. If we want to fully accept growth and embrace the next cycle of abundance, may I add, then we need to acknowledge that certain things need to be left in the past. We can't take everything in the current cycle forward into the next one. It is important that we leave some things behind. And when you do so, you can't be getting remorseful or regretful that these things aren't there anymore. There's a reason that you need to elevate and move away from this devil energy, because you don't want to keep yourself trapped and keep yourself stuck. And I always say, if you're not happy in your current reality, you're not happy in your current cycle, then you need to change it. You're the person who can free yourself from this energy. So make sure that you're empowering yourself and acknowledging your own value and worth, and that you're capable of achieving so much more. Don't be afraid with the 9 of Wands to take a leap of faith. And also, again, don't be so focused on the things that haven't made it, or the things that are no longer by your side. Think about the things that are still standing the test of time. And I said this for my TikTok collective, make sure that every day you're doing things to show your gratitude, and you're acknowledging the silver lining even when the days feel heavy. So every single day I do a gratitude list, and I just put 3 things on there that I'm grateful for, why I'm grateful for them, and how they make me feel. And I do that from a soul level rather than a level of ego. I don't say I'm grateful for my job because it gets me money. I say I'm grateful for my job because it provides stability and security to me. I know that I can then meet my own needs in the physical 3D reality, for example. So make sure you're spinning it from a soul desire rather than an ego perspective, and ultimately acknowledge that for you to be this King of Wands, for you to actually nourish your goal and stand strong in your power, you need to shed previous versions of yourself and ultimately undergo this King of Cups energy, which to me speaks about an emotional development. It's maturing emotionally, it's being committed to the emotional process as well. And once again, identifying what your reasons are emotionally for being invested in this thing. But ultimately, as heavy as it can feel, and I'm somebody who's guilty of getting quite stuck in the present day, make sure that you remind yourself that now is a good time for you to actually embrace that things are starting to turn in your favor. There's a change in energy, there's a change in fate, and now is a great time for you to start putting yourself out there. You just need to learn how to nurture your own glow, learn who to collaborate, and ultimately find the balance with nourishing your own energy enough that you can put it into your own goals and focus on your own things, but ultimately how to give your light to the right people as well. Don't be in the hermit mode so much that you're then scared to make new friends or meet new people from a relationship perspective, for example. Make sure that you're learning who to collaborate with and how to protect your light as well. And ultimately, that's the key to your success here with the Nine of Cups. You need to just learn how to regulate your own energy and how to keep some of that energy for yourself, and ultimately undergo this transformation where you stand strong on your boundaries, you know who you are, and ultimately you're able to free yourself from this stoic Four of Swords energy and release yourself out into the world. Find your balance as well. I think people with the world, they always struggle to find their balance, to find their place, but it's key. Balance is key, whether that's in the physical world, whether that's in our energies, whether that's in a spiritual realm when we're meditating. Balance is so essential. There's always got to be this give and take energy. And again, we can't be so focused on our own healing and stuff that then we neglect the 3D reality, but equally we can't be so caught up in the 9 till 5 and the day-to-day run-ins of life that we then neglect ourselves from a soul level or from a soul need. So make sure that you are embracing the Queen of Wands energy, you're nourishing yourself, and ultimately you're embracing your Empress energy as well. You're standing strong in your intuition and you're trusting in the divine path that's ahead of you. You're not rushing things. You're truly believing that whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. And I think that's key to remind yourself every single day. And we just had the lights flicker as I said that because the storm is now hitting. But make sure you are nourishing yourself and you're acknowledging that no matter how it looks or how it feels at any one time, the universe is always working in your favor. And it was 7-7 as I said that, so that could be significant. And the final cards here are, make sure that you're doing things to replenish your own cup. You're being attractive, you're attracting things, you're working on your glow, you're working on your own energy, and don't let past connections basically ruin future connections. Make sure you're acknowledging that although your intuition may have led you down a path that wasn't necessarily right for you in the past, that now you're in a position where you can apply those lessons from previous cycles to your next cycle and ultimately end up in the place that you need to be. There was something in those previous cycles, as heavy as it feels, that you needed to learn. They were a gift, and now your gift is acknowledging who to move away from, what to move away from, how you need to move forward. And I think that this is where the devil energy comes in, because I think you know exactly how to move forward. You know exactly who to leave behind. You know exactly what needs to be left behind in order for you to actually elevate your energy and move forward into your wish fulfillment. But there's a reluctancy to do so. So make sure you are spending time on yourself. You're taking proactive steps forward every single day, whether that's towards your goal or your own healing journey. And ultimately, you're giving time and energy to people and places that are good for you, for people that actually make you feel uplifted or supported rather than drained. Please do drop me a comment and let me know if this reading resonated. I'd also appreciate if you could drop me a follow or a subscribe, because it's helping my channel grow and reach the collective wider. I'm really struggling to talk today, but you know exactly what I mean. Thank you for being here. I really hope the message helps. I think this is such a beautiful message about transformation, because ultimately you're going to end up right exactly where you want to be with your own wish fulfillment. So don't second guess anything. Trust your intuition. You've got this, and I'll see you next time.